So in today's episode of Blockrevision, I have for you trade idea section inside of which we are talking about Zoom video communication stock. So the company has been headquartered in US in San Jose a few years ago, and right now is providing services for video telephony sector, and also providing services for online chat using their software peer-to-peer cloud-based platform. So right now Zoom video communications is trading right at 279 or rather 276 bucks, and is sitting on a important support. First, let's look at fundamental analysis. So in terms of Zoom video communications stock, we can find that earnings per share for this year was at the 44%, but for the next year it's decreasing a lot. Earnings per share for next 5 years is also not very positive in terms of what it was during this pandemic time. So Zoom video communication stock is a stock that gained a lot during recent ride throughout the whole year during this pandemic crisis. Right now we are declining, and from this nearly 600 bucks we are sitting at the half of it. So it means that the sentiment right now among Zoom video communications is quite bearish. Getting back to fundamental analysis, so we can find that sales quarter over quarter is right at the 3%. So quarterly revenue growth is not very high right now, and earnings per share is at the better level, sitting at 45%. In terms of other metrics, Zoom Video Communications Company is a stock that is representing nearly 3% sales quarter over quarter. That is not very high in terms of other companies, but earnings per share is putting a stock in a quite favorable position. So in terms of this one, we can expect this stock to get further investors' attention, as earnings per share at this level is not often met inside of the stocks of this sector. So looking for other metrics, we can find that Zoom Video Communications is in a quite a good position right now versus when it was in the history. The one need to be improved is cash to debt, definitely, and also interest coverage. That is a metrics that signalizing us that the company might be in a problem in terms of covering an possible outstanding debt. So it's due to the cash to debt difficult position versus when it was in the past. So in terms of profitability rank, we are in a good position that is quite interesting for investors, but in terms of valuation rank, the things are getting a bit worse. For this one, in order to expect a future good growth versus history, the company is upgrading step by step, but in terms of the industry that is competing with Zoom Video Communications company, it doesn't look very good right now. So it means that that the competitors are lagging behind maybe right now, but is trying to take over the company in the months to come. Forward P ratio is right at the low position in terms of where the industry is, so it means that Zoom Video Communications might be a bit overpriced right now. In terms of projections, we can find that Zoom Video Communications is expected to be traded at the lowest point of 300 bucks, so it's higher than it's right now by about 8%. The highest projections are reaching even 460 bucks. So it means that the stock is quite in a good position to gain some decent growth. And there are also some catalysts that I will talk in a second. So talking about Zoom Video Communications, we can find that this company is also taking over some other companies, such as Five9. That was quite of nice move of Zoom Video recently. This acquisition cost ZM at about 26 million bucks. So it should propel Zoom for gaining more addressable markets in the future. Also, a very important catalyst might be decreasing its price to sales ratio. That means that with recent decreasing in price, the stock is becoming more and more attractive for investors. Another thing that is also quite favoring for ZM is that management team is quite adaptive in terms of where the company should be headed in the next future in order to maintain its popularity and also its market share. On the other hand, however, the one that is bothering shareholders is this decelerating of growth revenue and also cash margin that is decreasing month by month. So Zoom Video Communications is spending a lot of money for upgrades, but it doesn't bring much as of recent in terms of growth of a company. So the one thing that is also is putting a possible pressure on the growth for Zoom Video Communications company is this lasting pandemic time that is putting such companies as Zoom in a limelight in terms of popularity, as video telephony software is very desirable for customers around the world. So if this pandemic time will last, we would expect that Zoom will enjoy the popularity and also should bring lots of good possibilities in terms of trade or investment ideas. So in terms of technical analysis, we can find that Zoom Video is sitting right around the support. That is also an important place in terms of where the past resistance was. So this resistance has been tested about 3 times in July and August of 2020, and right now we have confirmed this line exactly around 4 times, or even 5 if counting this one. So right now we are sitting in an interesting spot that should bring us higher, as we can find that recently a bounce from this exactly level, from this demand zone, has brought us right back at nearly 410 bucks. So it was around 40-45 increase in price. So at the end of August, we've seen Zoom Video cratering about 20% on more than good earnings expectations. So it wasn't really rational of the market that behaved like this, but the stock market has accustomed us to such irrational behavior. So what I mean to say is that this stock is in a good position to just make a correction of this recent slump and get just right above to just fill this gap at around 300 and 330. So I expect in terms of trade idea to put a trading board right at this level and extend it to extend it to 331 at least, and with risk reward ratio right at the 6.91, it means that it's a highly advantageous trade to take. So we've seen that Zoom video was a good possible trade, even right after this slump that turned out to be quite irrational. But right now we are in a much better place in terms of technicals that should favor this stock to propel higher in terms of its price. So in terms of area of entrance, when I find this stock to be or this trade to be valid, I mean it's right about this field limited by 271 and also 281. If the price will exceed any of these limits, any of these boundaries of this blue box, I wouldn't find this proposition of a trade to be valid. In terms of when can we get to the price level of 330, we can just get an example of a recent longer upside move that we could get a price bars pattern from, that was move like here. But ATR, that is average true range, that is visible at this bar chart, is pointing us that we right there were trading at about 13-14 level of a volatility range, and right now we have get down to this about 10-11 price range. That is about I would say 80% of what was tradable right back then. So it means I would extend this period of time of this recent move up to about 20%, and it means that from 19 days the possibility of getting a price of 330 right there is right after about 25 days from here. So it means there are 70 bars, 17 trading sessions in terms of possibility of achieving this price level. So that's it for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, just put it in a comment section below, and see you tomorrow.